Okay, we're gonna be kind of quick today. It's gonna be kind of a short one. I want to get my points out there. This is the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Teal Tuesday, 48 degrees this morning on March the 4th, about 7:36 in the morning. It's it's gonna clear out, turn sunny, then it's gonna get cloudy again tonight. Typical North Florida weather, right? Highs today will penetrate 76 or 77. Lows tonight will probably drop down into the upper 50s. Not quite as cool tonight. There still may be another final snap of cold weather coming for a brief time. But today's high, not bad. 76, 77. Tonight's low, probably in the upper 50s. This morning's low, we got down to 48, though, here in Jacksonville, Florida. Till Tuesday. I want to get some points across real quick here. Quarterback Trevor Lawrence is a key to this franchise. He's a key to this new coaching staff. Liam Coen has said he's going to, or a lot of folks have said, I don't know if I heard the direct quote from Liam Coen, but this is what's got to happen. Liam Coen has got to start fresh from the ground and go up and start from the beginning of Trevor being, and he's got NFL experience, no doubt. Trevor's played in the league now, 4 years? He's got a new contract. He's going to be part of the Jacksonville Jaguars from the time he started in the league. Looks like he's going to be around here 10 years, a decade of Trevor Lawrence. By the way, another quarterback was pretty good. Probably not the best Jags quarterback, but he got the Jaguars to the playoffs. Number 9, David Garrard. And this is episode show number 9. So, in honor of Garrard and past quarterbacks like Mark Brunell, number 8, I probably should have mentioned Mark Brunell in the last episode. I think I mentioned Don Gaffney. And 8 Ball, a great game of billiards. We'll go back and remember Mark Brunell, great Jaguars quarterback. Not only great, but he's in the pride of the Jacksonville Jaguars, along with just a select few people. David Garrard would not quite make it to the pride of the Jaguars. However, he did quarterback the Jaguars to the playoffs, just like brother Blake Bortles did. We could talk Jaguars quarterbacks all day long. However, the main thing is the current quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, has been in the league 4 years. And if you count it up, look at all the head coaches, the offensive coordinators Trevor has had. So I think Liam Coen wants to kind of clear his head and say, hey, you're a good quarterback, but we got to start this thing over. And because basically the key to Liam Coen being the head coach of the Jaguars is riding the ship with Trevor Lawrence like he did with Baker Mayfield in Tampa. And when you look at Trevor Lawrence, he's got a much more expected pedigree than Baker Mayfield ever had. But Liam Coen turned Baker Mayfield into a pretty good quarterback when he was offensive coordinator last year at Tampa Bay. Man, they were scoring touchdowns like 60 to 65% of the time in the red zone. So what I'm going to say is this. I've watched Trevor Lawrence. He needs to show better control of the ball. He needs to be better with the football, protect the football better. That's the key. I think also it starts with comfortability, being comfortable, I should say, in the pocket. And he can make all the throws, but he's got to be comfortable in there. The more comfortable Trevor Lawrence is, the more great throws he'll make, the more confidence he'll get. Quarterback is about confidence and being comfortable out there and being comfortable in the pocket and moving around. Trevor's been hurt the last couple of years and missed big parts of the last 2 seasons. And a coach named Doug Peterson's got fired probably because a lot of it has to do with Trevor missing a lot of games and the offensive line not being up to where it needed to be or needs to be. So my executive producer, JC, I think will go along with what I'm going to say for the most part. John Gaylor, our correspondent and contributor to the Teal Shirt Report podcast, and again, this is Teal Tuesday. He was having a lot of fun participating in some mock drafts. It's that time of the year for mock drafts here in March. March Madness in college basketball. By the way, the Florida Gators, man, they're going to be a 1 or 2 seed, probably a 1 seed in the March NCAA tournament coming up in just a few days, depending on how things fall. Florida Gator basketball, man, they're on the map. They've won more than 20 games, and they're going to be in the big dance in March this month. It's March 4th, by the way, 48 degrees here in Jacksonville. So talking about Trevor Lawrence being comfortable in the pocket, I think that's the key because he can make all the throws if he's comfortable. He's in an offense he's comfortable in. He's getting good offensive line protection. And let me give you 2 names in the draft. JC knows one of these guys I'm going to mention, Will Campbell, offensive tackle out of LSU. There's been even some people saying you could move Will Campbell to guard. I don't think so. I think he'd be a big time tackle, a big time offensive tackle, and maybe a future Pro Bowler. How many Pro Bowlers have the Jacksonville Jaguars had on the offensive line since Tony Baselli left the playing field? Not many, right? I mean, I'd have to do the John Gaylor. That is a new project for you. How many Jacksonville Jaguars offensive linemen have made the Pro Bowl? I'm not talking about the long snapper or anything like that, but how many offensive linemen have made the Pro Bowl since Tony Baselli made the Pro Bowl? Or probably the better term is all pro. How many of these offensive linemen have been all pro? Let me give you 2 offensive linemen. And John Gaylor snagged them both in the draft it can be a crapshoot, but John Gaylor was able to somehow manipulate. I think he made some trades in the draft. I think the Jags might have to trade back a couple of spots to get both of these guys, but keep these 2 guys' names in mind. Offensive tackle Will Campbell out of LSU, and probably a few picks later, even in the next round, an offensive guard named Tate Rutledge from Georgia. If you land one of these guys, you're in good shape. If you land both of them, it could make this offense, it could really be the final chapter of getting this offense rolling. And it may take these young guys a couple of years, but I think it'd be a heck of a thing to get 2 offensive linemen. These are guys that are, Will Campbell's projected to be a top 10 pick. And somewhere a little later, offensive guard Tate Rutledge out of Georgia would be picked after Will Campbell. If you could somehow get both of these guys, Will Campbell, Tate Rutledge, you got them both on rookie deals. You're going to find gems later in the draft, wide receivers. Now, the Jags need a cornerback. They need another defensive tackle badly. But these flashy players on social media that some of these guys want the Jags to draft the second wide receiver. You better hope the number 1 potential wide receiver continues to play well, and that is Brian Thomas Jr. Right now, it's about Trevor Lawrence and him being comfortable throwing the football with better offensive line help. Remember those names I'm talking about. Offensive lineman Will Campbell out of LSU and offensive guard Tate Rutledge out of Georgia. And that's about all I have to say. Jags need to go heavy offensive line after that, defensive tackle, cornerback, and find some gems later in the draft because it can be done. That's the challenge of new Jacksonville Jaguars general manager James Gladstone, right? They're working as a collaborative team. James Gladstone. They got Jacksonville Jaguars football player Tony Baselli, now the executive vice president of football operations. Obviously, Liam Coen will be around during the draft, and as well as Shad Khan and his son Tony Khan, and it's going to be interesting. James Gladstone's first draft as the general manager of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Tony Boselli, the executive vice president, and Liam Coen, the head coach. It's about making Trevor comfortable in the pocket, because if he's healthy, he's comfortable in the pocket, he can make the throws. He's got to protect the football better. There's no doubt he has got to protect the football better. But remember those two names, offensive tackle Will Campbell out of LSU, and offensive guard Tate Rutledge out of Georgia. Rick Springfield, Foreigner, many groups coming to North Florida for concerts. Uncle Cracker's even going to be at the Clay County Fair April the 3rd, I hear. But for the concert rundown, I still got to add Uncle Cracker to the concerts in the Neighbors 2 section, but we will. I've been, at first I heard he was coming. Then I said, I can't find anything about Uncle Cracker at the Clay County Fair, but I heard something again that he's going to be at the Clay County Fair on April the 3rd. There's another group, I think Sugar Ray is going to be there as well on April the 3rd at the Clay County Fair. And big concerts coming up, Foreigner, Chicago, Rick Springfield, and hey, Wang Chung, John Waite, that 80s show. Our executive producer, JC, says Rick Springfield, he's seen pictures of Rick, promotional pictures. Rick still looks like he's 30 years old. I don't know if I believe that. I'll look for those pictures. I want to thank our sponsors of the Teal Shirt Report podcast, Social Realty and Capital, for your real estate needs in North Florida, whether it's home, residential, business, or commercial real estate. Social Realty and Capital. You will absolutely find a link on our website in the homepage. Don't forget about the madmaxmix.weebly.com. Max is recovering from a surgery, and Mad Max is going to be back on his show soon. He's been recovering for, I think, the last 3 or 4 weeks after really a major surgery. So send prayers out to Max. Check out his show on Wednesday nights, madmaxmix.weebly.com on Wednesday nights. And JC has his show live from the pub at Lake Eufaula Hits, lakeeufallahits.com. Great internet radio where it's all good. JC's show begins at 6 o'clock Central, 7 o'clock Eastern time on Thursday nights. Mad Max has similar start times on Wednesday night with the madmaxmix.weebly.com. That's going to do it for the Teal Shirt Report podcast. Remember those two names. Well, we are saluting number 9, former Jacksonville Jaguars quarterback David Garrard here on episode show number 9. The Teal Tuesday, actually. This is Teal Tuesday. Remember that. But we want you to remember those two names. Offensive tackle, Will Campbell out of LSU. Offensive guard for the offensive line, Tate Rutledge out of Georgia. Remember those two names. You snag one of these guys, it'll be very good. If you get them both, it'll be outstanding. And I think this offense can really get on a roll and build something over the next couple of years. I truly believe. You already got a guy locked in, Brian Thomas Jr., as your potential number 1 wide receiver. It is true Christian Kirk may be traded. That's possible. Or maybe there's a slight chance he comes back. Parker Washington's got to have a really good training camp, really good NFL training camp going in to his 3rd year. It's going to be interesting. The draft will be a lot of fun. The NFL 2025 draft. New Jacksonville Jaguars general manager James Gladstone's chance to really put a stamp on this team is his, along with Tony Boselli, the executive vice president of football operations, and Liam Coen. He's going to be in on this draft too. It's going to be interesting. That's going to do it for Teal Tuesday. I'm Scott, your host for the Teal Shirt Report podcast. We will call this one episode show number 9 on Teal Tuesday, March the 4th, 48 degrees in Jacksonville, Florida. Not quite as cold tonight. High today around 76 or 77. Low tonight in the upper 50s. We'll have skies clearing out today. Partly cloudy, but skies clearing out today. And then more clouds move back in tonight. Still going to be dry. No mention of rain. Still going to be dry on this Teal Tuesday, March the 4th on Teal Tuesday. It's going to be dry at least for today, right? Today and tonight. And we appreciate you guys tuning in for Teal Tuesday right here on the Teal Shirt Report podcast, episode show number 8 of season number 6. Remember those names on the offensive line. I'm going to repeat them again. Will Campbell. You might have to trade back 2 or 3 spots to grab him and then get Tate Rutledge a little bit later in the draft. And then you go after defensive tackles, or at least one defensive tackle and a cornerback pretty quick after that. That's my take. I'm Scott with the Teal Shirt Report podcast. You guys have a great day. JC, we're just at a little over 15 minutes. Remember, great shows coming to North Florida. Foreigner, Wang Chung with Rick Springfield, and kind of an 80s show. John Wade will be there too. Check the Neighbors 2 section in the concert area of the Neighbors 2 section of bigjreport.com. Special thanks to our producers, our executive producer, JC, also Alex Nunnery, and our correspondent and contributor, John Gaylor, who actually won the Teal Shirt Report Podcast Fantasy Football League that concluded just a couple of months back when the regular season came to an end. Super Bowl, we all know Philadelphia Eagles smashed Kansas City 40-22 with a good offensive line, including Landon Dickerson on the offensive line. They rushed Patrick Mahomes and sacked him 6 times in the Super Bowl. And Kansas City went down. Philadelphia Eagles 40, Kansas City Chiefs 22. That's going to do it for the Teal Shirt Report podcast. The next several weeks and months, and even going into the 2025 season, it's going to be about Liam Coen starting fresh with a healthy Trevor Lawrence and a better offensive line. Have a great day. This has been Teal Tuesday on the Teal Shirt Report podcast from bigjreport.com. You guys have a great day. Thank you for watching Teal Tuesday. See you next time.